Sync agents and music supervisors are probably the most common things you will encounter in your licensing journey. So it's important to identify the difference between the two because there are big differences between what a sync agent does or a licensing rep and what a music supervisor does. I've been on both sides, I've done both, so I'm the perfect person to talk with you about it. So let's dive in. When you create a record, when you record something or you write a song and you want to license it, I highly recommend you find representation. It's very hard to do it yourself. I was trying to do it myself for a long time. I got lucky with that first placement. I started to pitch myself and I learned very quickly that that was going to be really hard and I had to find representation or become a rep myself. I chose to become a rep, and as a result of that, my own music got put on the back burner for a long time, which was okay. I started a business, I loved the business, and I was doing well with it, and I've done I had a lot of placements for a lot of artists throughout the years, and it's been great. Along the same time, I started music supervising in 2008, and for film, and so I was starting licensing around that time as well. So my licensing career as a sync agent, as a rep, has grown in tandem, parallel to my music supervision career. So I've done both side by side. Most of the time, especially these days, because now there's courses for music supervision, which I'm working on one as well, and there's courses in music licensing and all of that between what I have to offer at License Your Music and elsewhere, of course. So now that there's a path for people who want to music supervise or want to get into licensing, it's more common to kind of make the choice to be one or the other. For me, it was like I was independent, I was a freelancer, I just needed to pay the bills, so whatever worked. And what I found was working was licensing music and also music supervising because I got paid to do that as well. So the key differences between the two, the best way to look at it is a buyer and a seller. Music licensing is a lot like real estate in the sense that you create a piece of property, which is your music or your house, and you then lease that to other people. You license it to other projects like TV shows and films. And when you're doing that, you're like acting like a licensing rep or an agent. And an agent represents your property and licenses it out. So you're kind of the seller in that point. You're trying to pitch it and trying to place it and get bites on it, get bites on your house. So you want to get people who want to do that license, okay? As a buyer, you're on the other side of it. So as an agent, you're pitching to the buyers, the music supervisors. The music supervisors are working for the production companies or the producers to license music from companies like labels and publishers and sync agents and licensing reps. So you want them to license the music from the agent. So on the agent side, you're selling, you're pitching, and you're trying to place that song or that property in a project and get them to license it or rent it from you, if you will. As a music supervisor, you're the gatekeeper. You're guarding the gates of the project. You're keeping quality control on what music comes in. You're helping with the creative direction. You're helping with the budget. And people are pitching to you. So you're the buyer at that point. So you're getting songs sent to you and you're the one saying, we want to pay you for your song. And we want to pay you X amount of dollars based on the usage and whatnot. And that's all defined in the license itself. So the key difference between a licensing rep and a sync agent is that one is the seller, the sync agent, and the music supervisor is the buyer. So I want to really clarify that because of what I do and because I'm in this public space now teaching about music licensing, and I will use the terms kind of interchangeably as a music supervisor and a licensing rep because I do both. Most music supervisors do not do both. So when you're pitching your music to a music supervisor and you ask them to represent you, if you do that, you're going to come across as not understanding the business because that's very uncommon. So I don't want to confuse you with that. I want to be very clear about that. If you're pitching your music directly to music supervisors and not going through a rep, you're pitching them your music, hoping that they will license it from you directly. Okay? You're not pitching it to them saying, I want you to represent me, because music supervisors do not do that. The job as a music supervisor is not to represent talent. It's to represent the project that they're working on and license music from talent. I hope that makes sense. As a licensing rep, our job is to sign talent, nurture talent, develop talent, build up a catalog, if you will, for pitching to music supervisors. So there's a big difference between what one does versus what the other does. So it's important you understand that. Hopefully now you do. This episode's going to be short. I just wanted to get that point across. I'm Jody Friedman. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay cool. Peace.